Now, one of my favorite pieces of advice to give a client is when in doubt, talk to your donors. If you are, let's say you're taking some of these questions and these thoughts to heart, and you want to maybe change the way you talk about a program in a written piece or a report or a website, and you're not sure if the donors are going to like it, talk to a donor. You don't have to talk to all of them, but you can talk to a few. Can you make a couple phone calls? Can you grab some time with two or three or four or five donors and say, hey, I want to run this by you. I'd like to get your read on this. You've been a donor for a while. I want to get your opinion on how we're talking about this. Would that be a good thing? Would that help your relationship with that donor if you trusted their opinion and you did that outreach? If you asked them why they started to give, how did they start and why do they give? Learn those stories about your donors. And the reason I ask you to do that is because that's part of the fundraising story, because it's not a story about us, the fundraiser. It's ultimately a story about the donor and how they felt connected, why they felt connected to the mission, to the organization. And tell donor stories to your team. So again, that's a very I found that to be a very positive and a very powerful thing to do. If you're telling a really effective and engaging donor story about how a donor first found you, why did they give? Why did they give more? Why do they bring people? Why do they invite people? What about this mission is speaking to them? It can take time to get there, right? Because oftentimes, one of the things we have to realize that some donors have been with the organization longer than we have. And they may see us as interlopers because unfortunately, if the organization hasn't really been great at employee retention from the donor's perspective, you might just be another friendly face in the chair. So it might take time to build that relationship and build that trust. But when you get there and you can ask a donor, why did you give? Maybe you'll find out something, meaningful or moving. And maybe that's something you can share with your team. So they understand that these people that you as the fundraising team member are so passionate about, they're not just walking checkbooks. They are people who have stories to tell and stories to and engagement points with the mission. Now,